Thank y'all. So I got my Good Guy Award put up nice in the house now. So appreciate you guys. Constant reminder to see you guys every time. So what's up? How we doing? It's been good. It's been really good. Welcome our second baby this offseason. She's turned a month old this past week, so that's been fun, just getting used to that lifestyle. Traveled a little bit when this offseason first started. But, yeah, it's been good. Picked up a couple hobbies, which is always good. That's always something to do in the offseason. So it's been good so far. Yeah. I knew during the season. You know, I would say from the first time I got on the team till now, every year I assume he's coming back more and more than I do he's leaving, just because it seems like he's like reversing his aging somehow. I don't know how he does it, but every year he looks better and better, and you can almost kind of tell when it's not a guy's last. You know, we didn't have that last goodbye. Like I know we always end the year off, you know, doing dinners and stuff. And since we live close to each other, we always ride together. And that's like, you know, almost like kind of our last time we talked before he goes off to Tennessee. And, you know, we didn't have a goodbye. And, you know, almost kind of felt like, you know, if we had a goodbye, it would have been a nice chance to do it. So, you know, he could always tell when a guy is not fully in something. And good for us. So happy to have him back another year.
Josh, when we talked to Harrison, he really raved about Theo Jackson's
Mm-hmm.
progress. I guess, what have you seen from him to get to this point where now he seems like he's got a big opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, same thing everybody has seen, just the playmaking ability, you know, to be able to go out on the field, and when he was number 25, to always know he's out there because he's making a play some way, or now 26, you know, every time he's out there, he's finding a way to come down, you know, with the ball, or, you know, finding a way to impact the game somehow. And I think that's, you know, what we're big on in this building is guys who can impact the game and guys who can learn things and be a pro day in and day out. And for a guy like Theo to be able to get this opportunity that he has in front of him, I'm excited for him. You know, obviously, I'm a big part of, you know, when he first got to the team, when Lou got hurt, and you know, bringing him on, trying to get him up to date, and then throughout the years, you know, just being integrated within the DB room. It's been special to see his development, and you know, I feel like his story is very similar to mine. We're both 6th-round picks. He was cut. You know, he just happened to come here instead of stay on his team. So, you know, for a guy like that to get a second contract, you know, without even playing, you know, starter snaps, is special.
Josh, you feel like there was unfinished business, especially not just you personally, but defensive-wise coming into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that every year we don't win the Super Bowl. You know, the goal is to win the Super Bowl, win the North, and, you know, every year you don't get those things done, especially when you have a good team like you do last year. You know, you always feel like it's some unfinished business. I know individually everybody has that knack, that little thing that keeps them going in the offseason. And as a team, you know, we're building that unfinished business mindset, you know, these next couple weeks and months. So, yeah, definitely some unfinished business because, you know, if we don't have a ring, there's a lot of unfinished business.
Josh, what were you thinking during the offseason as you guys won 14 leagues last year, but they are adding people, you know, lots of guys, defensive line, offensive line, you know, DBs everywhere, spending a lot of money. What's sort of the message that you as players get when you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you look at that and, you know, we go from a 13-win season the first year to below 500 the next year, and we come back with a 14. But, you know, the common theme, like I said, you know, we're not getting over that hump. And, you know, it takes a strong man to look in the mirror and after a 14-win season the way we had it, to, you know, be able to say, like, you know, we need to figure out a way to get to that next step, and we need to revamp a little bit of, you know, here and there and do these certain things to be able to, you know, get over that hump. So shout out to the front office, you know, for being able to, you know, look in the mirror and say, you know, these are things that we need to get done to be able to get to that championship. I kind of want to save those for Tellus with Metellus. Yeah, that's why I didn't say them. I want to talk about them, though, because I love doing them, but I kind of want to save that one.
Open season. Well, you made one of your hobbies public by attending Timberwolves games.
Mm-hmm.
I saw your
Yeah,
floor seats.
that's
Tempted to talk trash a little bit.
Yeah, I know I was until he came and sat on my lap. When he sat on my lap, it wasn't that much talking trash because I respect his game too much to do that because obviously I'm not playing, so it's not too much talking I could do. But that's something I started to do a lot last year in the playoffs. Go to the games, and now I'm obsessed. Like I'm almost like this close to getting season tickets just because I just love the energy in there. I love being around the fans. It always feels good to be in that building.
With Cam Don, are you taking over team celebration?
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, obviously, it's a team game, so all the celebrations. It wasn't just me and Cam. We had a couple where it was just us two, but the team's always integrated in it. Flo's big on having team celebrations, so we'll keep it pretty big in the community. But I would say I have a couple up my sleeve that I want to get off. So if I start to train, I know we're gonna finish it.
Josh, how happy are you for Cam?
Oh, I'm excited, man. I tell him that all the time. To be in a position that he was, and get that contract and be able to take care of his family. I know that was a big on his bucket list. Growing up. So for one of my best friends in this league to see him reach that goal, and I know he has a lot more motivation out there. But for see him get that step off and get that off, it was very special. It definitely warms my heart.
On the flip side of that, just how much do y'all lose not having him back?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a guy. I mean, played 3,000 to 4,000 snaps. In the past 4 years. So, definitely gonna be missed. Regardless of how you put it. It's just we can't get those reps back. With guys like Theo, Jay Ward. However the room shakes out. You can't get those reps back. So we definitely losing a lot. Mentally, physically, off the field. But we do a great job, like you guys seen in the last month and a half, this time of the year, bringing in guys or shaping things the right way to be able to pick up the pieces that we lost. So I'm sure we'll figure it out. It definitely hurts and definitely feels weird with no seat in between me and Tutu, but we're gonna get through it.
Josh, where are you at with your own contract with your existing deal?
Oh yeah, that's if anything, that's private matters. I let Drew and the front office handle that. You guys will know when if something happens, if it happens. But for the most part, that's private. That stuff like I like to keep between me and my agent, family. Between the team. That stuff you ask Quessy.
Is that something you're hoping gets done?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the team knows where I stand. Every time I come up here, I tell you how much I love it here and how much I love being part of this team and what we built over the past 3 years. And I would love to be here my whole career. And but all I could do is the 1,000 snaps I played last year and let the rest figure it out in the off season and get ready to do it again this year.
Josh, you said last year when you got back, you went into Flo's office and you had a bunch of stuff forward that probably wouldn't have made sense. At least for me. Did you do that again this year?
Always.
What does he
Always.
have
A lot of good stuff. Being 2 years in the system, we got a lot of tape on, just how we do things and, how we move throughout the season, how we move day to day, what's our off season like, what's our camp like, what's our, weekly process leading up to Sunday. And, over those 2 years, we figured out a lot of different things. And, it's just great to see, how a group of coaches could just sit in the office all off season and come up with a plan that they think, will be very beneficial to us in the fall. So, yeah, it was very exciting stuff to see. Obviously, Flo, he has wrinkles up his sleeve. But, a lot of fun stuff. We got a lot of new additions, a lot of things to, gel together and a lot of people, to highlight. So it's going to be a fun year.
Josh, a lot of people say that quarterback sets the tone for the whole.
Yep.
What do you like most about what JJ brings, not only intangibles, but to the football?
Yeah, I would say from the time I met him when he was a recruit coming up to Michigan and I'm a senior, ready to get out of here and take that next step, you just always felt his energy and that energy. And I think, when you have great energy, but to have poise the way he does, I think it goes a long way, especially for a team, especially for a leader of a team. And for our quarterback to, not even step on the field yet and already have that poise and already have that energy when he walks through the building is very special. And I mean, I could talk about his abilities on the field all day if I could. But, for a guy just to be the person he is in this building is something to look forward to, for him and his career moving forward.
We heard from a couple of the other guys about the more is required t-shirts that you guys are wearing. I guess for you, like, what is the more that this defense can do to get over that hump that you mentioned?
Yeah, I think the situational stuff for us is a big thing. I think as a defense, we've had stretches and we've had, different games where we played great defense or, we did the things we were supposed to do. But I think in those situations, 3rd down, 2-minute red zone, stuff like that, that's where we need to be top 5, top 2, top 1 defense. And if we can figure that out by the end of the year, I'm sure with the guys we got on offense and, the guys who get it done, we'll be sitting right where we want to be.
Josh, for JJ coming in with a veteran team that's coming off a 14-win season, how does he go about kind of taking that leadership role in his first year? What's the key to a young guy being able to do that in the position that he's in as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think, for JJ being the guy he was, coming into the league, already having that, he was Big Ten program, leader, captain, been that way since he was in high school. I'm sure it was when he was in Little League too. He's already had that, that kind of leadership thrown onto him, so it just bleeds in him. You see it all the time. But I think the big part about JJ is he's very organic, and he'll come in the building and he'll be himself. So I think for him, as long as he can be himself and feel accepted, his abilities, his traits are going to excel in his leadership role, whatever it is. We don't need him to come in and be the Patrick Mahomes of the team right now. He's still trying to figure things out. He still has to play his first game. He still has to get those angst and stuff out. Last thing we want to do is have him feel like he has to say the last word to the team or say the final words every day. We have a veteran team for a reason to welcome in a guy like that, so he can just focus on his day-to-day process and not have to worry about being that true blue leader. Because we have a lot of good ones.
Along those same lines, just with so many veterans on defense, how do you help Dallas Turner take a big step from first year to second year?
Yeah, a big part of helping a guy take that next step is them being willing, and he's very willing. And we just literally, as I was coming up here, we were in the locker room just now, and he was talking about how Coach got on him last year on special teams, and that kind of changed his mindset. And, that, and I told him, I'm like, that's when you became a pro, that's when you started to realize, how, much everything means and how your day-to-day process, the things you do affect the whole team. And, when you got a guy like that who figure it out that fast, and then he gets an off season where he gets to work on his craft, he comes back into the building last week and he's itching to learn. He's itching to, get back on the field. He's itching to, just be more and do more. So, he's doing it himself. All we're here to do is just guide him in the right way. And he has 2 great vets in his room to do that. And we brought some vets in the trenches to help him, progress his game as well. So it'll be good for him. I'm excited for him.
Do you have a light bulb moment when you knew you became a pro?
Oh, yeah, I did too. I think my first light bulb moment when I got cut, it kind of woke things up. I'm not the scholarship kid who gets 4 years guaranteed, or I'm not the draft pick who gets his spot guaranteed on the 53. I was a guy who got cut and had to prove himself every day. So that was kind of like my first wake up moment. And then I would say later on in that rookie year, I had a couple other wake up moments where, you just start to figure things out. You watch guys, you're around guys like Tutu and Eric Hendricks, Anthony Barr, Eric Wilson. You pick things up. And speaking of E. Will too, shout out to E. Will. He was a vet here when I was a rookie, so I know he to see him, full circle, and it's for him to see me full circle, is something we talked about, and excited to have him back too.
How'd you end up on Love is Blind?
They know I love the show. I'm very vocal about my reality TV shows. Me and my wife, we love the show, and they reached out to the team, and the first person they thought of was me because obviously, why not? So that was really cool. I got to talk to a couple of the people that were on the show, so that was cool as well. Great people, great for the city too.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good day.